And welcome to NAFDAC and Your Health, where you get to know about the activities of NAFDAC, the agency that is charged with the constitutional mandate to safeguard the health of the nation by ensuring that only wholesome food products, drugs, cosmetics, and medical equipment are made available to you. I am Amanda Ugo, your host. The first segment of this edition of NAFDAC and Your Health focuses on how NAFDAC is contributing to economic development by supporting investment and encouraging the growth of businesses through her regulatory activities. This will lead to the agency's participation at the recently held International Business Conference and Expo 2024, which was tagged Invest Nigeria, where the Director General of NAFDAC spoke about the role of the agency in producing a conducive environment for investment in Nigeria. Then we'll go on to bring you updates from some state offices of the agency. Economic development through investment is germane to NAFDAC, as the agency sees herself as a major contributor that can immensely enhance the growth of Nigerians' economy. This is by helping manufacturing companies that are into the production of the agency's regulated products grow. One of the ways this is done is by supporting micro, small, and medium enterprises.
NAFDAC plays a very important role in terms of MSMEs in Nigeria, because most MSMEs are in foods, cosmetics, household items, health care household items, and these are all regulated products. And because of the role that MSMEs play in our economy, the importance of that sector in the building of our economy, we put a lot of emphasis on MSMEs.
As part of strategies to encourage the MSMEs, NAFDAC during the COVID-19 pandemic did a palliative where the first 200 applicants did not pay anything to register, and thereafter, all applicants got 80% reduction in their registration fees. This was done for 6 months to give enough time and encourage more people to register their products planned for sale within the Nigerian market.
So, because of the sector, we have put in place stakeholders meeting, dissemination of information, assisted registration, because our registration process now is becoming e-registration, and knowing that many people are not very familiar with working with computers and registering online, we have made it possible for our staff to assist any MSME applicant to register their product online. Aside from that, we also we join with the presidential initiative. We join at the MSME clinics, where we also emphasize and encourage them, explain concerns they may have. And in many of these MSME clinics, you also have the different sister agencies there, like the Bank of the Industry, you have some, you have CAC, just to be sure that their questions are answered by the respective agencies. To support MSMEs further, we actually created an Office of Trade and International Relations. So we rearranged the functionality of the staff that are there, and these staff are in the one-stop shop part of MSMEs. We have a one-stop shop office made up of NAFDAC staff that is there to also encourage and guide them, answer questions.
NAFDAC does not only focus on supporting the growth of local industries, the agency also strives to enhance export, attract foreign investors, and promote international trade.
It is not just making things for the country consumption, but we are also encouraging them for export. And if an MSME started, in a small kitchen doing this or doing that, after a few years, that MSME may expand. And we will always make sure that their product is of quality. We tie quality to trade. If a product has quality, the likelihood of buying that quality or coming back to buy that quality, product is very, very high. So in terms of exports, we are encouraging our MSMEs that can expand their business and then move on to export. We are encouraging them to go through NAFDAC, because if they don't go through NAFDAC, their product very likely will be rejected, because we have not tested the product, and if it is of no quality or poor quality, it will be destroyed in the other country where this product is going. So we have a lot of support mechanisms for our MSMEs.
As part of the agency's commitment to further contribute her quota to the economic development and the enhancement of investment in Nigeria, the agency recently participated in the International Business Conference and Expo 2024, organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry and supported by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Bank of Industry. The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, who was represented by Mrs. Roslyn Ajayi, the Southwest Zonal Director of the agency and the Coordinating Director of the zones, spoke on the topic Understanding the Regulatory Environment for Investing in Nigeria, explaining how NAFDAC provides a conducive environment for those investing in the production of the agency's regulated products through her activities. Speaking through the Southwest Zonal Director, the NAFDAC DG started by talking about the agency's mandate.
NAFDAC is the Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, and just like any other government agency, we are established by an enabling law with a mandate to safeguard the health of the citizen. And our core mandate is to regulate and control all businesses, whether it's importation, exportation, production, storage, distribution and use of food, drugs, medical devices, cosmetics, detergents, packaged water, and chemicals. All these categories of products we refer to as NAFDAC regulated products. And so in order to be able to fulfill this mandate, we have several functions and strategies. One of it that is of importance and of interest to everyone is the registration of NAFDAC products. Because for any food or drug or cosmetics offered for consumption within Nigeria or as an export product must have NAFDAC registration number.
The NAFDAC DG, through her representative, went on to explain that NAFDAC does not deal with applicants as individuals, as an applicant is expected to have a corporate identity as well as a trademark, because every product to be registered must have a brand name. She also spoke about the agency's regulations, particularly as it concerns MSMEs.
When we are talking about commerce and industry, then we are talking about trading, and we are talking about manufacture, importation or exportation. So we are highly involved because we are, our mandate covers the quality and safety of products in order to safeguard the health of Nigeria. So of necessity, any business that has to do with food and drug and regulated products, we have to feature. So we are here to exhibit, to explain, to showcase what NAFDAC is doing, our contribution in nurturing MSME in particular, and then how innovations that have been introduced, reforms that have been introduced in the recent time to facilitate businesses in Nigeria, and how we have also keyed with the government of the day in making ensuring ease of doing business in Nigeria.
Other regulatory bodies represented on the same panel with NAFDAC were the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Nigeria Exports Promotion Council, Nigeria Investment Promotions Council, and the Nigeria Customs Service. Speaking earlier, the president of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Gabriel Idahosa, explained mandate of the organization, which prompted the focus of the conference.
We made the point as a chamber that our primary mandate is to act as a bridge between the investors and the government and the regulatory environment in Nigeria, so that when there are issues that need to be addressed, we can put that message in a way that the government can understand that this is not just in the interest of the investors, but also in our interests as Nigeria. Because business strives where both parties reach a meeting point of understanding and are able to do business that is mutually profitable.
On NAFDAC entourage to the LCCI conference were Mr. Emmanuel Nwogo, NAFDAC Deputy Director in charge of Public Affairs, and Mrs. Christiana Obiazikwo, the Deputy Director, Public Affairs, Mr. Kayode Fagboyo, Director, Lagos Office, and Mrs. Sarah Ajayi, a Deputy Director at the agency. You have been watching NAFDAC and Your Health. Please don't go away.
Beware. Fake or damaged drugs have put many people in serious health harms and have killed many others. But you can protect yourself by seeking professional healthcare advice when you feel unwell. Buy drugs from only licensed pharmaceutical outlets and make sure you check the packaging for poor condition, spelling errors, and unclear labelings. Also, check NAFDAC registration number, batch number, the expiry date, manufacture date, and manufacturer's address before paying, and always collect a receipt. If you suspect a drug to be fake or damaged, report immediately to NAFDAC on 0800-162-3322 or send an email to sf.alert@nafdac.gov.ng. Protect yourself and your loved ones. This message is brought to you by NAFDAC with support from WHO.
Welcome back. You are still watching NAFDAC and Your Health. Thank you for staying with us.
And now, moving on to NAFDAC news updates. The Investigation and Enforcement Unit of the Rivers State Office of NAFDAC on Bethel Hotel and Resort Company registered Agaba Table and Sachet Water in Obodo Town, Cross River State, for contravening regulatory laws of the agency. The water production factory had abandoned the branch it registered with NAFDAC and moved to a different location, which is the second branch of Bethel Hotel and Resort situated in Ikom, Cross River State. The company had gone ahead to start producing under a different name, Too Nice Aqua Table Water, which is not the one registered and approved by NAFDAC. These actions constitute regulatory offences. In addition to the aforementioned offences, the environment was also found to be unkempt and grossly inappropriate for water production. The automated machine was confiscated. The finished goods met were also confiscated while production was put on hold. The company was sanctioned and issued compliance directives to either return to Obodo, the registered facility, or apply for additional manufacturing sites and also change the product name to the one registered before she can relocate after approval. The South-South Zonal Director of NAFDAC, Mr. Oligbo, said surveillance and enforcement will be further heightened in the zone, sounding a strong note of warning to those who are in the habit of engaging in acts that negate the stipulations of NAFDAC, advising them to desist before the Investigation and Enforcement Unit of NAFDAC in the zone descends on them. NAFDAC investigation and enforcement officials, acting on a tip-off from concerned citizens, impounded 3 petrol tankers allegedly transporting crude vegetable oil. Credible intelligence was received that the edible oil had been transloaded into petrol tankers on the premises of an edible oil depot in Apapa, Lagos. Following this intelligence, the investigation and enforcement officials in a sting operation arrived at the premises and apprehended the 3 fully loaded trucks that were about to move. One more tanker was found in the process of transloading to another truck. Further enforcement actions led to the trucks being moved to the Investigation and Enforcement Office in Apapa, Lagos. The representative of the company was invited for further interrogation, and he explained that the trucks and the crude oil contents belonged to the edible oil company. Doubts as to the hygienic condition of the trucks and possible chemical contaminants resulting from carrying and distributing the vegetable oil with petrol tankers led to the Investigation and Enforcement officials, after communicating with the Food Safety and Applied Nutrition Directorate officials, to accompany the trucks to the processing premises in Songwater, where the products were handed over to the Southwest Zonal Office of NAFDAC for a follow-up and further regulatory actions. The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, has constituted a committee chaired by the Director, Food Safety and Applied Nutrition. The committee is comprised of the Investigation and Enforcement Directorate and other directorates to deliberate on the guidelines and code of ethics for marketing and distributing edible vegetable oil. NAFDAC therefore appeals to Nigerians to always be on the lookout for spurious and unwholesome practices on food and other regulated products, and report same to NAFDAC. NAFDAC will always ensure continuous surveillance and heightened rates on these unwholesome practices, and will continue to enforce regulations governing regulated products in Nigeria. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has destroyed fake and adulterated products worth over 2 billion naira. The products, including rice and assorted drinks, were confiscated by NAFDAC from the 5 southeast states. The Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, disclosed this recently at the Southeast Destruction Exercise held at the Enugu State Waste Management Authority dump site. Professor Adeyeye, who was represented by the Southeast Zonal Director of NAFDAC, Mr. Iluyomade Martins, stated that the total value of the products being destroyed was worth over 2,664,548,683 naira 33 kobo in street value. Speaking through the Southeast Zonal Director, Professor Adeyeye said these products would have compromised the health of over 3 million people. They would also have increased the health burden on the nation's already overstretched health institutions. In addition, they would also increase poverty rate by making people spend money they should use to improve their livelihoods on medical trips. Professor Adeyeye insisted that NAFDAC will not rest on its oars until every household can buy any regulated product without fear of purchasing substandard, adulterated or fake products. The event, according to the NAFDAC DG, was to signal to the people of the Southeast that it is no longer business as usual to merchants of death who are hell-bent on destroying other people for their own selfish economic gain. She enjoined the public to join the agency in the fight by reporting unscrupulous manufacturers and businessmen who engage in illicit practices to report to the nearest NAFDAC office for prompt investigation, adding that the vision of the agency is to be a world-class regulator that ensures availability of quality and safe food, drugs, and other regulated products. In Ogbomoso, Oyo State, the NAFDAC Zonal Director-led team of NAFDAC officials acting on intelligence recently traced and uncovered an unregistered bakery producing under abysmally poor good manufacturing practice and poor hygienic condition.
It is not a small facility at all. From what we can see, the baking pans you can see. This is the proposed mixing room. This is where they are doing the mixing. The mixing trough. These are some of the raw materials on the bare floor, and these are their rollers and this is the condition. You can see rat droppings. These are rat droppings on the rollers. This is the state, the sanitary condition of a place where they are producing bread.
Also in Ogbomoso, the team discovered a pure water factory operating with an expired license.
This premises was discovered some 2 months earlier, and it was placed on hold. We were expecting them to come because they were operating expired license. The last time the review was around 2014 or thereabout. So it's more than 10 years they have not renewed. So they were visited, and when they saw the state of this facility, it was appalling. Its gross
unsatisfactory GMP, and in addition to the gross unsatisfactory GMP, we discovered that they were registered for John Brown water. They were producing 4 different brands. That is, it is an unauthorized production they are engaged in because they no longer have license. And then they are now engaged in contract manufacture for other products that are also not registered. So they came to the office and reported they have Dunamis water, and this Dunamis water is also bearing merit water. Then we have John Brown water, and then we have Abato water. All these are not known to us. They are using the same NAFDAC registration number for the 4 different brands.
Production at the factory was put on hold and the operators were asked to show up at NAFDAC office. Not seeing the operators at the office, NAFDAC officials paid a follow-up visit only to discover that the agency's seal had been removed and the operators had accessed the premises. The case has been escalated for further regulatory sanctions and punitive measures will be taken against the recalcitrant company. That was NAFDAC Update. You have been updated.
This is where we'll wrap up this edition of NAFDAC and Your Health. We'll be back again same time, same station next week with another insightful package. If you have any information for NAFDAC on the activities of peddlers of unwholesome food products, drugs, cosmetics and medical equipment, please do not hesitate to reach out to NAFDAC.
You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded.
It is against the law to produce, import, distribute, market, advertise, or sell unwholesome food products, fake drugs, cosmetics, and medical equipment. Do not be on the wrong side of the law. Let us join hands together to have a healthy nation. Till we meet again next week, stay healthy.